Hi everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this beautiful faux fur trapper hat. This was a lot of fun to make. Look at how much fur we are using in this. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. We're using a bulky yarn, we're using fur, we're making poms, we're doing all kinds of fun stuff today. And we're working with front post stitches to make this design on our hat as well. So it's just a big eclectic amount of things we're doing with this hat today to make it as fabulous as it is. And it's so warm for the winter, so it's perfect for any gift idea or even for yourself. So let me get into the supplies we need to answer a few frequently asked questions, and we can get into making this faux fur trapper hat. So the yarn I'm using today for the fur, I'm using Red Heart Boutique fur. I don't have much left. Well, yeah, here I have more, almost a full skein actually. I used about 13 yards of this fur. This was wrapped around it, but obviously it's a big puffball now. This is a Red Heart Boutique fur. These are 11-yard balls of yarn. That's 10 meters, but I used about 13 yards. So again, you're going to have to get 2 balls of these to use this. And this is a jumbo size 7 yarn. I'm using the color mink, but you can use any color you want, or you can use any fur yarn that you can find at a craft store. The other color, or the other yarn I'm using for the main color of my hat is this Lion Brand's Hometown USA yarn, and this one is 81 yards, and I used 2 skeins of this, 2 full skeins of this yarn. So that's about 162 yards of yarn. So you're going to need about 160 yards of yarn, I would say, for this hat. I'm using Los Angeles Tan for my main color of this hat, but you can use any super bulky size 6 yarn or any Aran yarn for your hat. Just make sure that it is about 160 yards of yarn for the main part of your hat. For the crochet hook, we're going to use a K-size hook, which is 6.5 millimeters, so make sure you have that handy, as well as a yarn needle and a scissor, because we'll be cutting our yarn and sewing in our ends, and these tools seriously come in handy in this whole project, especially when we sew on these pieces. What we're going to be doing is making the shell of the hat first, and then these ear flaps are made separately, and we are sewing them onto the hat as separate pieces, like little applique kind of things. And we are sewing this fur on one side of the ear flap as well, and this trapper hat part to make it look like the trapper hat, and then the pom and these little I don't know, puffball sides of our ear flaps, I guess. We're adding those last. So those are all the components of this hat, and those are all the supplies we're going to need. Before we get started, I do have to mention there are links in the description of this video if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're watching this on my website, then you can check out all of everything in this post on the blog. But if you are watching this on YouTube, there's a link to the written pattern. So if you want to find the written pattern, if you just want to follow along with that, or you can follow along with the written pattern and this video, totally up to you. Also, there is a link to the Facebook and Instagram. Make sure to share your photos on social media. Hashtag YARNutopia so I can see your work. You can also follow me on Snapchat. I'm YARNutopia on Snapchat, so you can follow me there and Snapchat me a photo or a video of what you're crocheting, whether it's this or anything you're crocheting, what's on your hook today. So let me see that through Snapchat. And I have to say a big thank you to my dad, Fuad, Azmat, for taking the time to make our videos with us. He is our videographer, editor, and photographer exclusively for YARNutopia.com. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button and subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you crochet content, and you can get that update on when we do. Also, in this corner of this video, on the right hand upper corner, you will see an I for like more information. You can click that and support YARNutopia today, so you can keep bringing you, fantastic crochet tutorials, and your support means so much to us. So thank you to those who have supported us already, and for those of you who are going to, you guys are the best. Your generosity is so greatly appreciated. So make sure you click that I in the corner of this video and support YARNutopia. So now let's get started and make this faux fur trapper hat. Alright, let's start out with our main color and make a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold that down and pull that through and pull it tight. Then insert your hook and then pull that tight and we can start. So let's start out by chaining 6. So yarn over, pull through, 1, yarn over, pull through, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and now we're going to come all the way to the beginning chain way over here and make a slip stitch to form a ring. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. So now we've formed a ring. Now we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and into the ring we're going to put 9 double crochets. So yarn over, go into the ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Again, yarn over, go into the ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So that's 2, this is 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and last one here, 9. Okay, so you can see I was working in a circular form, and I was working over the straggler, this loose end here. I don't know if you noticed that, but you can kind of pull that tight to kind of close that center if you want to. And then counting back, we need to have 10 stitches because the chain up 3 at the beginning counted as a stitch. So count back 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is this chain up 3. We're going to slip stitch to that chain up 3. So go in the top of that, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook for a slip stitch. Okay, so there's round number 1. Alright, going right into round number 2, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's also going to count as a double crochet. We are going to put a front post double crochet around this chain up 3 that we slip stitched into. So yarn over, go to this side of the chain up 3, go around it, around the whole post, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that's a front post double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet and front post double crochet on each stitch. So we're going to put a double crochet into the stitch right here. So yarn over, go into this next stitch, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then we want to front post double crochet around the same stitch. So yarn over, go into the side of the same stitch that we just worked that double crochet in. You see that there? We're going to yarn over, go on the side of that post, around it like that, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and again, next stitch, double crochet into the stitch, and on the side of it we're going to yarn over, go onto the side of the post, around it just like that, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So at the end of this round you should have 20 stitches, and there'll be 10 regular double crochets and 10 front post double crochets. So then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 3 together. Alright, you want to end round 2 with a front post double crochet around this last stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch to our beginning chain up 3 here. 1, 2, 3, right at the top, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Alright, now round 3, we are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and that counts as our first double crochet of this round. And we're going to put a double crochet back into that same stitch. So yarn over, go back into that same chain up 3 where we slip stitched, go in, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So now it looks like there's 2 double crochets into that same stitch. Now we're going to front post double crochet around this next front post double crochet here. So yarn over, go on this side of the post, around it to that side, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then in this next stitch, this regular double crochet, we're going to put 2 double crochets in there. So into the stitch, put 2 double crochets right into it. And then on this front post double crochet, we're going to make a front post double crochet. Just like that. Okay, then on this next stitch, this regular double crochet, we're going to put 2 double crochets in there. And then we're going to put a front post double crochet around the front post double crochet. And we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So just do that, and then I'll meet you up for round 4. Alright, you want to finish round 3 with a front post double crochet there, and then slip stitch to the beginning, chain up 3. 1, 2, 3, go into the top of this. Right here, go in, yarn over and pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. Okay, going on to round 4, we are actually just going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, which counts as a stitch, so we're not going to work into this stitch right here because that's our chain up 3 from the previous round. We are just going to double crochet into each stitch around, so yarn over, go into this next stitch right here, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And we're just going to be putting 1 double crochet into each stitch around for a total of 30 stitches. So then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 5. Alright, going on to round 5, I just double crocheted around for round 4, so now we're just going to slip stitch to the top here of this chain up 3, go in, then yarn over, pull through, and through. Now for round 5, we are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's counted as our first double crochet of this round. So again, we're not going to stitch into the stitch right here because this chain up 3 is in there. Then we're going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So yarn over, go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that's 1. Next stitch is 2, and the next stitch is 3. Then we're going to front post treble crochet around this front post double crochet from round 3. So yarn over twice, 1, 2, go down to this side of that front post double crochet to this side of it, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops, just like that. Then we're going to front post double crochet around the next front post double crochet from round 3. So we're going to front post treble crochet here, so yarn over twice, go around this next front post double crochet down here, go to the side of it, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more loops, and yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. Okay, just like that. So we've kind of made like a little diamond shape there. Awesome. Then we're going to, let's see here, double crochet into 5 stitches from round 4. So we're looking back here, and you can see these stitches behind here. We're going to double crochet into those. So yarn over, go into the next free stitch. So this one's worked in, so we can go into this next stitch here, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that's 1. Next stitch is 2, next is 3, next is 4, and the next is 5. Okay, then we're going to, let's see, in the next 5 stitches, so then front post treble crochet around the next front post double crochet, so yarn over twice, go down here to round 3, to this side of the front post double crochet around it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more loops, and yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. Then yarn over twice again, go to the very next front post double crochet down here from round 3, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then we're going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches on round 4. So go back here, you can see this stitch is worked in. So we're going to work in this stitch here. So yarn over once, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. So that's 1. Next stitch is 2. This is 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, then we're going to front post treble crochet around the next front post double crochets here. So yarn over twice, go down over to round 3 here, around the post. Yep, finishing off your front post treble crochet. Then yarn over twice again, go back down to the round 3 where this next front post double crochet is, and put a front post treble crochet around that one, just like that. Then we're going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches from round 4 here. So going back here behind our work, so each stitch is still being worked in. So 1, next stitch, 2, next is 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're going to yarn over twice and do our front post treble crochets around this front post double crochet from round 3. And again, yarn over twice, go to the next front post double crochet down here in round 3 and make your front post treble crochet around that. Then we're going to, let's see here, double crochet into the next 5 stitches, I believe it is. Let's count here. Double crochet here. 1, 2, just kidding, it's 6 stitches. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we still have these 2 front post double crochets to make front post treble crochets around. So yarn over twice, go down to round 3 to this one here, and then yarn over twice, go to the very next one over here, and make your front post treble crochet. And then we're going to double crochet into the last, I think there's 3 stitches left here on round 4. So 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. Now we're going to slip stitch to the beginning, chain up 3 here, 1, 2, 3, go in, then yarn over and pull through, and pull through to slip stitch, and there you have it. So now you can kind of see, you'll have to kind of manipulate your stitches to make them look more like diamonds, but there it is, little diamonds. Okay, so now going on to round 6, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and that counts as our first double crochet here. Now we are going to double crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to front post double crochet around both of these treble crochets to decrease them together. So yarn over, go on this side of this treble crochet around both of the stitches to this side of this treble crochet, then yarn over and pull through. Okay, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops, just like that. Then we're going to double crochet into 5 stitches. So we're not going to work into those stitches back here. So you can see there's 1 stitch there and 1 stitch there. We're not going to work into those. We're going to double crochet into this next stitch right here. Okay, next 5 stitches. So 1, next stitch, 2, next is 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and now we're at the next 2 front post treble crochets here. We're going to front post double crochet around both of those. So yarn over, go on this side of the treble to this side of this treble, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, then we're going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches, skipping these 2 back here. So yarn over once, go into the next available stitch. So skip those 2 because those are the treble crochets, and then just double crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and now we're at the next grouping here of these front post treble crochets, so we're going to front post double crochet around those posts, just like that. Then we're going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches, skipping those 2 because those are the front post treble crochets. So yarn over once, go into the next stitch, and make a double crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, just like that. Now we're going to front post double crochet these front post treble crochets together. So yarn over, go on this side of it, around the post, just like that. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and double crochet into the next 6 stitches. Okay, skipping those 2 because those are the front post treble crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then front post double crochet around these 2 front post treble crochets to pin them together, decreasing them. And now we have to just double crochet in the last 3 stitches here. Okay, and then we'll just go on to round 7. Okay, so finishing round 6 here, we're going to slip stitch to the beginning chain up 3. Going on to round 7, we are going to chain up 3, so yarn over, pull through 1, 2, and 3, and that's going to count as our first double crochet. And now we're going to double crochet into each stitch, including these front post double crochets, but when we get to the front post double crochets, we're also going to front post double crochet around them. I know it's a mouthful, but we will get through it. So yarn over, go into this next stitch right here, and double crochet in there. So 1, next stitch, 2, and next stitch 3. So now we are at our first front post double crochet of this round right here. So we are going to double crochet into the stitch and front post double crochet around the stitch, just like that. Awesome. And then we're just going to double crochet into each stitch until we get to the next front post double crochet, and we're going to just put a double crochet into that one. I'll show you when I get there. So there, I'm here already. So we're at the front post double crochet here, so we're going to put a double crochet into the stitch, and we're going to put a front post double crochet around the stitch. Okay? At the end of this round, you should have 40 stitches. So if you don't have 40 stitches, or if you have more or less, either add more stitches in the front post double crochet stitches, but make sure to front post double crochet around all of your front post double crochets. So if you have, you know, less stitches, you can always put, you know, 2 double crochet in here, like that. And you can front post double crochet around it, like that. Nobody's gonna notice, but I have enough stitches on my round, so I don't need to do that. So just put 1 in there and 1 around it if you have enough stitches. I'm just saying that if you don't have enough stitches at the end of this round, if you don't have 40, then you can add more stitches where it needs to be, where it needs to go. But I'm going to just do that all the way around to get to my 40 stitches, and then I'm going to meet you up and we'll go on to round 8 together. When you're finished with this round, be sure to slip stitch to the beginning chain up 3, just like I showed you in the previous rounds, and then chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. At this point, if you are done increasing, you do not have to increase on this round. Just put 1 double crochet into each stitch around if you're done increasing, if this is the hat size you want it to be. But I want to increase more. I want it to fit me, so I'm going to double crochet into the same stitch as the chain up 3 here, so it will look like there's 2 stitches in there. Okay, so we're putting 2 stitches in the first stitch here. That chain up 3 and that double crochet count as a stitch, and they're both worked into this chain up 3 here. Then we're going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to put 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So go in for 2 double crochet, so 1 and 2. Okay, just like that, into the same stitch there, and then put 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And then repeat, so put 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then repeat it again, putting 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And at the end of this round, you should have 50 double crochets, so then I'll meet you up at the end of this round, and we'll go on to round 9. When you finish this round, I just slip stitch to the beginning here, like I showed you in the last round. We're just going to chain up 3. Going on to round 9 here, we are going to double crochet into each stitch until we get to the stitch that's in a front post double crochet. So you can see that here, this double crochet is worked into the front post double crochet, so I'll show you what to do when I get there. So I'm just going to put 1 double crochet into each stitch until I get to that stitch that I just pointed out to you. So it's this stitch right here. So just double crochet into each stitch. Okay? Once you get to that stitch, you're not going to work anything into that stitch. You're going to work into the front post double crochet, and we're going to do a front post treble crochet around it. So yarn over twice, go down to the front post double crochet, go on this side of it, around it to that side, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more loops, and yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops, just like that. Then we're skipping that stitch back there, and we are going to double crochet into the next stitch, and in each stitch until we get to the next stitch that's in the next front post double crochet. Obviously I'm not counting here if you have more or less stitches or whatnot. So if there's 2 stitches in the front post double crochet like this, double crochet into the first one, and then skip the next one. Okay, so skip that one, work your front post treble crochet, so yarn over twice, go down on this side of it, around the post to that side of it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And like I said, we're going to skip that stitch then that's behind it, and double crochet into each of the next stitches until we get to the next front post double crochet, or I guess the next double crochet that's worked into a double crochet, or you know what I mean. So we're just going to go there. I'm just double crocheting in each stitch. See, there's 2 of them worked in that one. Okay, so I'm going to double crochet in the first one. Okay, skip this next one, but yarn over twice and make our front post treble crochet on that stitch from round 6. Or, I'm sorry, round 7 there. That's round 7. Just like that. Okay, then we're going to skip that one that's right behind it, right there, and work a double crochet in each stitch until the next double crochet that's worked into a front post double crochet. So you can see here I'm just working a double crochet into each stitch, just like this, and you can see here, oh, there's 2 double crochets in that front post double crochet. So we're going to double crochet into the first one right here. Okay, then that second one we're going to skip. We're going to yarn over twice, go on this side of the front post double crochet, okay, from round 7 there, and finish off your front post treble crochet. Then skip that one behind it and double crochet into the next. Okay, and just repeat that. Oh, I'm almost done with this round, so I'll meet you up for round 10. Alright, when you finish round 9, just slip stitch into this chain up 3 here and go on to round 10. Rounds 10 and 11 are identical, so I'll show you exactly how we're going to work them. We're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet into each stitch until you get to a front post treble crochet. And on the front post treble crochets, we're going to put a front post double crochet on each one of those. Okay, so I'm at this first front post treble crochet here, so I'm going to put a front post double crochet. So just yarn over once, go on this side of the post around it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And now you can see here that the front post treble crochet is right there. Okay, so we worked around that stitch, so we don't have to work a stitch in there. We're just going to go to the next stitch and work a double crochet in there and in each stitch until we hit the next front post treble crochet, and we're going to put a front post double crochet around it. And then we're going to do the same exact thing for round 11. So no increasing, nothing super extravagant here, just front post double crochet around the front post treble crochets, and then double crochet into each stitch, just like that. So I'm going to do that for rounds 10 and 11, and then once I'm finishing round 11, we'll go on to the next step together. When you're finished with your last round, if you need to, you can continue working more rounds. Just repeat rounds 10 and 11, just making your piece as long as you want it to be. But I'm going to fasten off here, so I'm just going to slip stitch into this chain up 3, yarn over and pull through and through. And then we want to fasten off, so chain 1, cut that yarn, pull it all the way through and pull tight, and then you can sew in that end there. Now you want to make sure you can see your seam here. You want that to be on the back of your work here, okay? And you want one of these diamond looking things on the top and this coming down the center front of your hat, okay? So kind of line it up so that that is at the center of your hat, just like that. Okay, so now we are going to make the visor part here, just this top part. If you want to make this, this is an optional part. You just need to grab the fur yarn here and same crochet hook. I'm going to set this aside, but just keep this nearby. We're going to be measuring here. So I'm going to set this aside. You want to grab your fur yarn and you want to make a slip knot with it. Okay, very similar to how I showed you in the very beginning of this video, or of this tutorial part. Insert your hook in that loop, kind of pull it tight there. Okay, now I know it's going to be very difficult for you to see my stitches, so I'm going to show you how to make this part, and then I'll show you what exactly I'm doing with regular yarn, with the chunky yarn. So I'm just going to chain 6, so yarn over, pull through, 1, yarn over, pull through, 2, yarn over, pull through, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you want to decide if that's long enough. So what you need to do is grab your hat back and then put this over the top of your hat and see, is that how big I want my visor to be? I want it to be, mine to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to chain 4 more for chaining 10. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now there's 10 chains on there, and that looks like how big I want it to be, okay, from across here. Okay, so it's going to start here and end here, okay, and that's like where the center of it is going to be. Now I'm just going to do rows of single crochet up to however high I want it to be. So I'm just going to go into the second chain from the hook, just insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, obviously you're not going to really be able to see what I am doing here, and it's a lot of feeling around with your fingers to kind of find your stitches across here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside because you obviously can't see anything there anyway. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing with this chunky yarn. I'm taking my yarn, taking my fur, pretend this is fur, making a slip knot, inserting my hook, chaining, so I chained 10 actually, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoopsie, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then I took it on my hat and made sure that's how wide I want my visor part to be, okay, just like that. Then I'm setting that back aside and I'm going to single crochet across this chain. So just go in the second chain from the hook, so the loop on the hook doesn't count, so count 1 and 2. You can kind of, with the fur, you'll be feeling around like this a lot. Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Go into the next and just single crochet across, just like this. So with the fur, it's very simple because we're just going in, yarning over once, pulling through, yarn over, pull through 2, just like that. And we're doing that all the way across our foundation chain here. And then going on to the next row, because we're going to want to make this taller, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work around. And with the fur, you'll be able to feel really well between your stitches like this. So you'll be able to feel around, insert your hook in between the stitches, and make single crochets in between your stitches, just like that. So feel between your stitches and single crochet across. I am just pretending this is fur, but this is how it's going to be, just like that. And then we're just going to repeat row 2. So we're just single crocheting across, so chain up 1, turn your work, and then single crochet across. And that is for the fur part of the visor part of your hat. So I'm just going to do that with my fur now. I'm just going to set this aside because this is really, I'm not really using this for anything. So I'm just going to continue working with this fur. And I'm going to single crochet across my piece, making my piece as big as I want it to be and furry as I want it to be. And then I'll meet you up when we're about to fasten this off and we will sew this to our hat. Alright, when I was making this, I also found that working with a scrap piece of yarn along with this fur was much easier for me, so you might want to do that too. But when you're ready to fasten off, just chain 1 and then cut the fur short. Okay, just cut it just like that. And if you are using an extra piece of yarn, cut that one really long because we'll be using that for sewing. If you didn't use an extra piece of yarn though, grab another scrap yarn and use that for sewing. We're going to just continue to pull that all the way through that chain 1, secure it, okay? And now we have this piece. So I ended on 4 rows of single crochet, but you might do less or more depending on how big you want your visor part to be. So now grab your hat, set it on your hat where you want it to be, right in the front there, looks good. And then we're gonna sew that down. So I'm just going to take my yarn needle, take that extra long piece that I cut, just yarn your needle like that. You want to hide your ends, your fur ends, everything underneath the piece that we're sewing down. Okay, just like that. And then we're just going to go into the hat and then out the fur. Okay, and we're just going to go in and out of this piece until it is secure. Oh, I'm sorry. I hit the camera. Sewing is like quite a crazy activity, obviously. So just sew this piece onto your hat, just back and forth, just like that. I will try not to hurt my dad back there, and I'm gonna just sew this on, just like this, going back and forth. And then I'll meet you up when I'm about to fasten this off, so I'll show you how to weave in all your ends and that kind of stuff. All right, once you have that fur all sewed on, I just put this in the inside here, and we're going to tie a little knot. So go in through some of the stitches, hold up that loop around your finger like that, then go back around there, just like that, and pull tight. And again, you can do that a couple of times, 2, 3 times, whichever you feel most comfortable doing. Just go in through the loop, tie a knot, and then we can weave in this end here. So I'm just going to go in between the fabrics, even between the hat and that fur part, and just weave that in, and then cut that off. And that's sewed on, and there you have the fur is nice and fluffy. So now we can go on to making the ear flaps. So make sure you have your front here. We're going to fold this the other way, opposite way, just like this. And we are going to make ear flaps on this side and on this side. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to set this aside because we're actually going to make them separate and then sew them on. So grab your yarn that you used for the main color of the hat. So I'm going to grab that, I'm going to set that hat aside, and I need to untangle this here. We're going to grab our same hook, K-hook, and our yarn. I'm going to make a slip knot with that, so put your short end over your long end, fold this down and pull it through. Okay, insert your hook, and I'm sure you can hear my dog snoring in the background, so anyway, chain up, let's see here, what we want to do is chain 4, so yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to come all the way to the first chain here and make a slip stitch to form a ring. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. For this ear flap part, you can make a magic ring if you want to, totally up to you though. We are going to go on to round 1. It is going to be a chain up 3, so yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, and 3, and that counts as our first stitch of this round. Okay, so our first double crochet. Then we're going to put 9 double crochets into the ring. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Again, yarn over, go into the ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Again, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, so 9 double crochets into the ring. It should have 10 stitches around with that chain of 3 counting as a stitch, very similar to our round 1 of our hat actually. So now we're going to slip stitch to the first chain up 3 here, so 1, 2, 3, go into that, then yarn over, pull through, and through. All right, now we are going to work with half circles here. We are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as our first double crochet, and we're going to double crochet into the same stitch here. So yarn over, go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And now in the next, let's see here, how many stitches? Oh, actually, yeah, in the next stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets in each stitch, so 1 and 2, but we're going to skip the last 2 stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, next stitch gets 2, 1 and 2, then the next stitch gets 2 double crochets here, we're working with double crochets, then the next stitch gets 2, and we're putting 2 double crochets into each stitch until there's 2 stitches left. So I'm almost there. 1, 2 in each stitch. Okay, so I have 2 more stitches I have to work in. Putting 2 double crochet into each stitch just like that. 1 and 2. Okay, so now there's 2 stitches left. We're going to leave those unworked. Okay, we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to put 2 or put a double crochet into this same stitch where our chain of 3 is, because that chain of 3 counts as a stitch. So we're going to put 1 double crochet in that first stitch that we chained up 3 in, just like that. So now it looks like there's 2 stitches in there. Then we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, then 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So we're just going to repeat that across this half circle here, and then once we get to the other side, I'll meet you up and we'll fasten this part off and get on to the next step. Alright, you want to double crochet in that last chain up 3 there, and then we're going to fasten off this ear flap. So chain 1. You want to cut your yarn quite long, okay, to sew this piece on your hat and sew the fur on as well. So cut it long, and I'm going to continue pulling that all the way through and pulling that tight. And there's 1 ear flap. So if you need to, rewind this and make the other ear flap exactly like this piece, and then we'll go on to making the fur, which is exactly like how we made the front panel, this front panel of our hat here, which is just exactly like that. So what we're going to do is grab our fur, and I liked crocheting with this scrap yarn also. I don't know if you prefer that or not, let me know. But I'm just going to make a slip knot. Okay, I'm going to grab my yarn needle, or I'm sorry, my crochet hook, and I'm going to chain 6, so yarn over, pull through, 1, yarn over, pull through, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to bring my ear flap over, make sure that's long enough, and it is. So then I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and across, but obviously you can't see what I'm doing, but I am feeling around and just making single crochets, exactly how I showed you how we did for the top part of the hat with all that fur. So I'm just single crocheting across here. There'll be 5 single crochets in here, and then I'm going to chain up 1 and turn my work. Let me put my last single crochet in here. There we go. So then chain up 1, turn the work around, and kind of stretch it out a little bit. And now we can feel through between the stitches. Oh, there's my finger. We can feel through, and we can just go in and yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, and feel for the next space between the stitches. Right there, go in, and just make single crochets across in between your stitches. There should be 5 stitches then. Okay, and I'm just going to do this until my piece is big enough. I think I'm going to do 3 rows of this. So this is row 2 already. So now I'm going to make my last single crochet here, then chain 1, turn my work around, stretch this out a little bit, and single crochet across. And then once I get to the end of this row here, I guess you can just keep watching me do this because I'm almost done. Just going to make 5 single crochets. 3, 4, and 5. So now at this point I am going to measure it up to my ear flap here. Oh, and it's not as big as I want it to be. So I'm going to do 1 more row, so 4 rows of that. Same exact way I did the visor part. So chain 1, turn the work, and single crochet across. So when I'm ready to fasten this off, I'll show you how to fasten off and sew this onto that ear flap, and then we can go on to the next step. When you're finished making your piece, you just want to chain 1, and you can cut this yarn really short, just like that, and then pull it all the way through and pull tight. But don't pull too tight, your fur might snap. So now we have our little piece here. You can kind of stretch it out a little bit. Put it on the ear flap like that. Okay, and now we're going to sew using this piece from the ear flap. We are going to grab our yarn needle. Okay, yarn our needle. Just like that. And now we're going to sew it on the same way as we did with that visor part of the hat. So going into our piece. Make sure these little straggler ends are hidden underneath this piece. Put this piece on. Oh, and also make sure that your ear flap, you want to look at the inside of it. And the way to notice how, or to know which side is on the inside, is if these are showing upward, these stitches show upward, that's the outside. So turn this around and you can't see those stitches. See how you can see them on this side, but you can't see them on this side? This is the inside. So we're going to put our piece on top of that, just like that. Make sure it is nice and pretty. Fluff it up a little bit. And just go into your work. Okay, just like that. Sew in and sew out. I promise I won't hit my dad, and I'm just going to go back and forth just like this with my yarn needle. Okay, and I'm just going to sew on this piece. Once this piece is completely sewed on, I will show you how to sew it onto our hat. Alright, so when you finish sewing this piece on to your ear flap here, we're going to sew this piece to our hat. So you can see all the fur around it, looks fabulous. So now, grab your hat. I already sewed one on, so make sure you rewind this and make another ear flap, you guys. And now we're going to count back 6, you can count back 6 or 7 stitches here. So I'm going to count from this furry piece. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to start right here. So maybe I'll just start with 6 here. Okay, and we are going to put our piece there. And oh, my yarn is on the opposite end, so I guess that really doesn't matter. Going from the back here, we are going to just whip stitch this, so going into both layers just like that from the top and going down like that. Okay, and then just going back in from the top. And I'm just going to sew through the chunky yarn layers and not through the fur. Okay, just because I don't want the fur to show up through this part. But I'm just whip stitching across here until I get to that stitch that I kind of mentally marked my stitch over there. So make sure that it is far enough away from the front of the hat. So the 7th stitch here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so right here. So I just have to make sure I stop at that stitch. Okay, so I'm just whip stitching across, just like that. 1, 2, 3. It's going to take me a little bit more time. I guess doing everything on camera, you have to kind of do it in a, not a hurry, but just a little faster than normal so you guys can see what I'm doing here. And then I can fasten off. Okay, so I'll just go into the stitch here. And then once you get to the other end of it, like that, you can fasten off. So to do that, I'm going to go into the hat, just like that. And then we're going to go underneath a couple of these stitches. Okay. And we're going to pull up that loop there. Oh man, there we go. Hold up that loop, go back around it, pull it tight, and make a knot. And again, you can do it twice or 3 times, totally up to you. Just like this, and tie a knot. Alright. Oh, now you have to sew in this end. Silly me. So make sure you keep that on your needle there. And now I'm just going to sew this loose end underneath some of these stitches here. Just like that. Okay, and if you have any other loose ends, you can cut them short, tuck them away underneath, like that. Okay, so there you have it. I just sewed, or I made this one off camera so you can see there is our hat. So you could just have your hat like this and have a cute little floppy fuzzy hat, but I'm going to make a puffball on the top and make some ear flap braids coming down here. So I'm gonna grab some more yarn and we can get to doing that. Alright, if you know how to make a pom, you can make a pom for the top of your hat. I'm going to use this fur and I'm actually going to crochet it. So I'm making a slip knot and then I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and in that second chain from the hook right here, I'm going to put like 8 or 10 single crochets in there, depending on how big I want my pom to be. I'm just putting a bunch of single crochets into this second chain from the hook, just like this. I'm going really fast because single crochets are super easy, and I'm not even really counting my stitches. I'm just kind of looking at my pom just to see how big it is going to be, and I'm going to stick that inside there. So that's kind of how big I want my pom to be. So then when you have it as big as you want, you can chain 1, and I'm going to cut this sort of long because I'm going to actually sew with it. Okay, I'm going to pull it all the way through. Okay, and then I'm going to yarn my needle here if I can. If you can't yarn your needle with this fur, don't worry about it. You can always crochet with this on, which I might end up doing if I can't get it in my needle here. Especially when you're on camera, it's like this, you know, that won't happen. Sometimes when I have enough time I can get it through my needle, but that's not going to work today. So we are going to improvise and put this little piece on the top of the hat like that, and then I'm going to go in with my crochet hook to the inside of the hat through this like center hole here, grab that little straggler, that loose end that we cut, kind of pull it all the way through, position that pom how I want it. Let's see here, like this. Okay, then I'm going to go into the pom and into the layer of the hat there, hook that on inside, pull that through and through everything, and if you're able to, just use your crochet hook. Okay, and then just go into the hat, out the pom. Okay, that's why it's easier to have a needle, because you can just go in and out, and easier. Okay, so just kind of position it how you want it to look, and then make sure your pom is in nice and pretty. Okay, there we go. Looks good to me. I just had to do like 3 stitches there. And then you want to make sure all the fuzz is coming out, just like that. Awesome. Now this long tail I'm just going to take on the inside of my hat. So I gotta go on the inside here. Pull it all the way through. Okay, and then you can tie it in a knot underneath some of these stitches. So just going to go underneath this stitch, tie it in a knot, and then you can sew in that end. I'll just sew that in later. Okay, just sew it in like we did the other ones, other ends that I showed you. But there it is, our pom on the top of our head. But like I said though, if you know how to make, you know, an actual pom-pom, you can always do that. But that's my improvised little pom on camera. I like it, it's cute. So now I'm going to show you how to make this little pom and this braid here. So what we need to do is grab our main color of our hat, which I have this like cream color, and you want to take 3 strands of that yarn that are about 36 inches long, or like 3 feet long. Okay, just like that. And we're going to take just 3 of those strands. We're going to go on one of the ear flaps. We're going to go in the center of the ear flap, right down here, basically wherever your hook will fit. Go in, pull that through Pull them all through, just like that. Okay, so now you should have 6 strands of yarn. You can obviously make these thicker braids if you want to. Just make sure you have multiples of 3 strands. Okay, so you could do like 3 strands, 6 strands, 9 strands, etc. And then you want to make sure they're even on each side. Take 2 strands in each hand and in the middle, and then just braid them just like this. And if you, well, you can look at it on the other side of the hat actually. So 2 strands in each hand and in the middle, and just braid these down, just little braids. You can do thicker braids if you want to, but I'm just using these 3 strands of yarn, 2 strands in each hand then, just like that. Braiding it down, small braid, but if you want a thicker braid, just use more strands of yarn, like I said, in multiples of 3. Usually I do 9 strands of yarn, and then that equals 18 strands actually, when you fold it in half and pull that through that top part there. So that's really nice. And then you can do 6 strands in each instead of like 2 right here like I have. And if you know how to braid, you can just braid it down. Otherwise, there are video tutorials online on how to braid, but just braid these down as long as you want them to be. When you do your second ear flap, though, you want to make sure that the braid is exactly the same height as the other braid on the other side. Okay? Once you get down to where you want it to be, see, I'm going to measure this out real quick. Make sure both of my braids are, see, I made this one a little bit too long, so I'm going to take it apart just a hair. But what I want to do is leave it pinched, okay? I don't want to work a knot or anything. I'm going to make a pom-pom, and then we're going to attach it to that. So I'm going to set this aside as it's finished braided, okay? I'm going to grab my yarn here. If you know how to make a pom, you can make a regular pom-pom. Otherwise, I'm just going to wrap this around my hand 20 times. You can do 30 or 40 times, totally up to you. I don't know if I wrapped 20 times, I'm not really counting. But I'm just going to wrap this like this, okay? Then I'm going to take my hands out like this, use my thumb and forefinger like this, and pinch it in the center, cut that yarn, and then I'm going to cut a longer strand. Actually, I have an extra strand over here, okay, of a long strand. I'm going to wrap it around where my fingers are pinching in the center there, okay, and then it's easier to have, you know, like 3 or 4 hands during this part. If you're just doing a pom on your hand or on like a piece of cardboard or paper or whatever, but it's nice to have extra hands to help you. Just tie a knot halfway. You gotta use your fingers. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to let this go. Okay, and then we're going to tighten that knot. So now it's down the center. Okay, and then I'm going to tie it again to secure it, just like that. Now, I'm going to cut each side, and what I like to do, I know it's probably not the safest, so make sure if you want to be safe, just don't do this. Or have adult supervision, whatever. But I'm just cutting these ends just like this. I just stuck my finger in there to kind of guide my scissors along my finger. It's probably, like I said, not the safest thing, but it is what it is when you're crafting. There we go. So now those are all cut. Now I'm going to switch over to the other side. Kind of stick my finger in between all of those loops as much as I can. Okay, and then cut across there using my finger as a guide. Obviously my scissors are getting dull every day. I've got to get new scissors. There we go. Okay, and then you can see that there are some that I missed. Okay, so make sure you don't miss any. There we go. And obviously that looks really ugly, but we are going to trim that down. So make sure you have your long strands, that you cut the pieces, or I'm sorry, tied this piece together, just like this, because we're going to use that to tie to our braid. So now I just want to cut this. You want to probably cut this over a trash bin or something to kind of even out your palm. So I'm just going to do a quick trim. Again, be super careful not to stab yourself while trying to figure out your palm, or don't do anything, you know, crazy with your scissors. Okay, kind of make your palm just a little bit pretty, giving it a little trim. I'm no hairdresser, so it's whatever. Okay, then we can take our braid, take this. Okay, I'm going to actually put this upside down, putting these with the braid. Okay, so these two strands from the palm onto the braid, and then I'm going to tie a knot. Really, really tight. Okay. You want to make sure that your braid is really tight with the palm. Whoops. There you go. And then you can cut this part as long as these, so that they kind of blend with the palm. Okay, and then those will be on the bottom and on the back side, so you won't even really see them, just like that. So they're hanging on the back there. Okay, and there you have it. So just do the same thing for the other ear flap. I've done mine off camera. I might have to go in and trim up a few of my little palm hairs, my little yarn palm pieces, but for the most part, we're finished. So I just have a few ends to sew in, obviously, like this one in there. But make sure you sew in all your ends and make it really pretty. And there it is. This beautiful trapper hat is complete. So thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this faux fur trapper hat. This was a lot of fun to make. I hope that you learned something. And if you do make this yourself, please, please, please share a photo and hashtag YARNutopia on Instagram and Snapchat me. Go to Snapchat and follow me, add me on there as YARNutopia. I definitely have to see your trapper hats and how the fur turns out on yours. I want to see what colors you choose too, because this was a lot of fun to make, and it's so warm. So happy winter, everybody. Happy fall, happy winter, happy holidays. This is a great gift idea as well, and it was really, really fast to make. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hooking!